Hey y'all, it's Ali from Little Hill Homestead. We are going to be doing a homemade makeup series. I'm not sure where this is going to end up in that, but one of the things you need for homemade makeup is colors, like to to make colors, right? So I started looking at what some of the natural options were to make makeup colors. And one that kept coming up over and over was beet powder. But y'all, it's not cheap. And I thought, I can make beet powder, right? I'm all about breaking it down and going as far back as we can when we do something. So for our makeup series, we need a beet powder. And guess what? I had beets. So I'm gonna show you how to make your own beet powder. Watch this, right? This is difficult. I mean, it is so time consuming. It took me hours and hours and hours. No. So I do have my Septuri food dehydrator. Any dehydrator will do. I like this one because I can run it in the house and it's really quiet. So I have some beets. I just cut the top and bottom off of them. A lot of people say you need to dehydrate. We need to dehydrate the beets. That's the point of the video. That you need to blanch beets before you dehydrate them. Not for what we are doing. Skip that step. No need. So all I'm doing is cutting these in thin little strips. I have a nice sharp knife. Somebody was asking recently what knives we use. We use Rada knives, Rada. Some people say Rada, some people say Rada. We love them. We've had them for years and years and years. And we have quite the collection on the wall. I don't know if you can even see them. We have a couple non-Radas that we've purchased. But anyway, that's enough about the knives, right, lady? So I just did these in various thicknesses, whatever is fine with you. So I have 2 beets. I did one just to make sure it was going to work, and it did. So here we are. So I'm just going to cut my other beet up. Beets are the most beautiful color, are they not? They're like the deepest, most beautiful, like red, pinks. So I can't wait for you guys to see what this ended up looking like. Plus, it stains your hands. Who doesn't like that? It's like Easter all the time. So I have my Septuri food dehydrator. We're going to do these. I'm going to do them at 165 because that's what I did last time. Whoops, temp. That's what I did last time. It took about 8 hours for them to be completely dried. I had something else going, so I just threw them in there and it worked fine. So that's what I'm going with. I know a lot of things say to do them like at 130. We don't want to take 14 hours to do this, so run them a little hotter. It's just fine. So I just put them on our tray like that. Boom. Pop them in our dehydrator. I'll have the link for this dehydrator below. I know a couple of you guys actually have purchased it, and let me know. What do you think of it? I dig it for an option. If you guys saw our food dehydrator challenge, that was a fun one. Anyway, I'm gonna probably end up with, I'm gonna make it 2 trays because, so I might go grab some herbs that I need to dehydrate from the garden. I hate running a partially full dehydrator, so I'll go run out and fill it up. But let it run for, I have it at 18 hours. That's obviously too long, but I'll just keep an eye on it. When they look like Pringle chips and they look wrinkly, they're still going to be bendy when they're warm, and when you turn it off and they cool, they will harden back up. So that's what we're looking for, but I'll keep checking in. I'm going to go rinse this off. We'll be back. I just filmed this and my mic was off. Good job, huh? So our beets are completely done. You can tell they're done because they're like chips. They get really dried out and they look like a chip. What we're going to do is take those pieces and we're going to put them in a coffee grinder. I just tore them up a little bit to pop them in here. They should crunch. And we're going to just blend these through our coffee grinder, y'all. Whoop. I know you love the noises that we make. I like to give it a shake too to really get it all ground up in there. We're going to do this till it's fine, by the way. I put a lot in there. My bad. Okay, give it a tap, and you should have a beautiful potion of powder in your face now. So you can taste it. That's what it kind of looks like. So what I found is this consistency wasn't quite fine enough. Excuse me. And when I was making some test runs of some of the cosmetics, it was gritty and it wasn't working. So I looked on Amazon for like a super fine sifter, and they were like 25 bucks. Y'all, no. For one project, I'm not spending 25 bucks. So I figured out if you take a mason jar and dump our beet powder, come on, don't get stuck now. Dump your beet powder in your mason jar. Now I didn't have this any I didn't have this laying around, so I had to go buy it. But if you have any old pantyhose, y'all, these are trouser socks. Anything that when you stretch it, it's going to have like a nice fine place for our stuff to go through. See how if you stretch it, it makes like your own little sieve. Who needs some fancy $25 thing when we got $1.25 pantyhose? So we're just gonna take that. This is a batch that I've already started, and you're just gonna shake it over it. If you watch, can you see it? It's sifting right out, nice and fine, and it leaves behind all that junk, the big chunks that we don't want in our cosmetics. I did this with our hibiscus flower as well. If you have really your cinnamon and your ginger and stuff, other spices that we're going to be using for the cosmetic stuff, they should be fine enough. Usually commercial ones are. But if you find they're gritty, this is our cheap old solution, y'all. So just keep shaking till you can't shake it no more. And then what it does is, I'll show you, it leaves behind I haven't sifted enough, but it'll leave behind all the big gritty chunks. You can whip those through your coffee grinder one more time if you want. But other than that, you guys, we have a beautiful beet powder for our cosmetics. Isn't that color fantastic? It's like the most beautiful fuchsia. Anyways, that's our beet powder. We're going to use the same thing for our hibiscus flowers. And then I'll just double check to make sure our cinnamon, ginger, and cocoa powder. That's the other thing we're going to be using in a lot of our natural stuff. A lot of our stuff we're going to be using some colorants that I did get online, just because you can't really, what's natural that's blue that you're going to be able to dehydrate and get a really strong I'm not going to wear a lot of blue makeup, by the way. But there you go, beet powder. So stay tuned for our makeup series. This is step 1. And I don't even know how many videos we're going to end up with, but y'all ready for it? We're ready for it.